office of AARP. If you weren't at our reception earlier and you didn't get a chance to meet and mingle with Marcus, you're going to hear a wonderful speaker and an inspirational speaker and a wonderful jazz artist coming up shortly. Marcus, if he has time, you may be able to mix and mingle with him at the end of tonight. We're allowing a few others to get in their seats, so I'm stalling. Please come on in and take a seat. There are plenty of seats down at the far end. To everyone in the room and everyone joining us via the World Wide Web, and we are streaming this event tonight. If you didn't know, AARP is nationwide. We have staff in every state, volunteers in every state, and we are streaming tonight's event because they cannot be here with us in the room. So welcome to all of you out there. Before Marcus begins his talk on entrepreneurship and his live jazz performance, I want to recognize some top leaders from AARP and from the community who are in the room. You're going to hear from one of them shortly. He's going to introduce Marcus. Our CFO and EVP, Rob Hagan's here in the front row. Rob, you just raise your hand. This is Rob Hagan's here. If another boss of mine is in the room, raise your hand so I don't get in trouble. Okay. All right. Yeah. Thanks to all of you for being here tonight. If you're not an AARP member, we still love you. There's plenty of time to join. We even have, auxiliary memberships. What do we call them, Percy? You can join at 49. You don't have to be that ripe, wonderful age of 50. So if you're just anxious to get in the door, we'll take you at 48 and a half. This event began coming together when I reached out to my AARP colleagues in my role as chairman of the AARP Black Caucus Strategic Engagement Employee Resource Group. That's a mouthful. But here at AARP, we have an employee resource group, and one that caters to the needs and aspirations of African American and black staff throughout our association. I am the chair of that group. Tonight's event is put on by that group, the Office of AARP District of Columbia State Office, as I mentioned, Multicultural Membership Engagement, and Brand Management. So I want to thank our partners you'll hear from shortly. What you see here tonight is a result of what we call here, when we work together like that, one AARP. I want to bring to the microphone at this time my partner, Edna Kane Williams, who will tell you about multicultural market engagement.
Thank you, Louis. I'm delighted to be here, delighted that so many people turned out. It's wonderful partnering with our DC State Office. I'm with the unit that's called Multicultural Markets and Engagement, and my great job, I think, is to help the association figure out how to best outreach and engage with the African American community. And we do a lot of things under that umbrella. We have recently launched a faith-based initiative. We're working with HBCUs, historically black colleges, their alumni networks. We're working with Greek organizations. We're working with African American media, African American professional groups, all around AARP's social mission. You'll hear a lot this evening, and we've joked about becoming a member of AARP. Yes, we're a membership organization, but first and foremost, we're a social mission organization. What that means is we have a social agenda that addresses those issues that are most pressing for any audience these days, but especially the African American community. You see a lot in the newspaper around, and when you live in D.C., Congress drives you crazy, right? So fiscal cliffs, sequester, but all of those things really matter to people over 50. Social Security, Medicare, those are very much in play now. AARP is the African American community's largest, I think, supporter and advocate in terms of making sure those programs that our community, research shows, depends on far and above more than most. They are a lifeline. They are a safety net. So we really need organizations like AARP to engage, to advocate, to fight for and with. So my job is to make sure that we represent your interests, but that we have enough African Americans standing with us. I'm proud that we have 2 million African American members. That makes us a very major player in any landscape in terms of African Americans. But we want more because there are more to be had who are over 50, and these are trying times. We're coming out of a recession. How many people feel absolutely perfectly prepared to retire? No hands, and my hand is not up either. And that's one reason why AARP is here. I talk to a lot of people, a lot of African Americans who say, I belong to the WTID program. And I said, well, what does that mean? Work till I die. Work till I die. Well, that may be okay if you're healthy enough to work till you die, but a lot of us aren't healthy enough to work till I die. So we have to focus, we have to pay attention, we have to join forces with organizations like AARP to make sure that our interests and our opinions and concerns are heard. So I'm delighted to work with people like Lewis, who's a true advocate, who works tirelessly on behalf of the citizens of the District of Columbia. We have 53 state offices. It includes D.C. and the Puerto Rico and the VI. We're all doing the same thing, working on behalf of people over the age of 50 to make sure that we can live a dignified, quality life. So I'm happy to be here. We're having fun tonight, but there are a lot of serious things going on too, and AARP is there to work with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Edna. I want to bring to the podium at this time Adam Sohn. Adam is Vice President of Brand Alliances and Partnership. Adam?
Thanks. It's great to see an audience of music enthusiasts and also a lot of aspiring entrepreneurs, some of which I met, some of which are right here in the front row. Is he behaving, by the way, still? You got him going? Good. What my role is at AARP and brand partnerships and alliances, well, I would say that really more practically, I'm working with part of the leadership team here to try to really play a long game for AARP in the work and career space, helping a lot of people. Now the landscape's changed, the work and career, a lot of people are working a lot longer than they expected to. A lot of people are looking for what's next in their career by choice. And as much as we think about, the young kid who started Facebook and all these extraordinary businesses that are born sometimes from kids that are, just straight out of college, the facts are most people starting businesses in America are people like you. There are people that are, over the age of 50. Sometimes it's because necessity is the mother of invention, but sometimes it's because they're looking for something different. They're looking for more empowerment to do what they want for themselves, to have a little more choice over what they can do, and most importantly, tap into their passion. And, Barry Rand, our CEO, recognized this with a lot of the smart research that was coming out of AARP. And from that was born Work Reimagined. And I would encourage all of you to, if you haven't met Allison back there, sign up for workreimagined.org, which I can tell you very soon will become part of a much larger digital initiative. So look out for something around. I know we all associate April 15th with something else. Well, I better make sure I get on that. But really, we have a tremendous digital experience that's going to be powered even more so than what you'd see in Work Reimagined today on April 15th. And a large, large part of that initiative is going to be helping people find what's next in their business life. And with that, I would encourage you to reach out to Allison, but also there's some folks in the back of the room, Nicole Porter from the Small Business Administration. Nicole is also working very closely with AARP, the SBA and AARP, to again find very affordable and most cases free ways to help people that are thinking about small businesses, starting a small business, to get access to resources to help them do that. You can also find them at workreimagined.org, which is why we created this partnership. So we look forward to helping you any way you can achieve those dreams, getting those businesses off the ground. And I don't want to interfere any longer with you guys getting on with some great jazz music, so I'll pass it back to Lewis. Thank you.
Thank you, Adam. You look very young and youthful standing in the back, but there are seats if you want seats to your left and right and up front. Next up is, I introduced you him earlier, is our Executive Vice President and CFO. He probably has a few other titles as well. Rob Hagens, and Rob Hagens will bring up our special guest.
Yeah, we won't mention the other things that I'm called, at least not in public. I guess I'm the one person that they've invited to speak that was scripted. So bear with me. I'm really excited to be here because I really am. They don't let us finance guys out very often. So this is kind of fun. And even more so for me, it's a personal pleasure because I'm a big fan of Marcus's. Now, I'll say up front, I guess I've been following Marcus for over 10 years now. I was explaining to the other group, I'm a son of a music teacher. So I grew up listening to all kinds of music. it wasn't, it's quite common for me to be on my way down to the playground with a ball under my arm, and I'm listening to some lady screaming at the top of her lungs in Italian or something. I had no clue what was going on. But my mother always instilled in me the appreciation for the arts, for theater, for music, and to really recognize a craftsman, someone who is a true artist and really into their trade. I have to tell you, the first time I heard Marcus perform, I think it might have been the Carter Barron. It was one of the kind of an open amphitheater. They couldn't get this brother off the stage. He was just in his element playing, and I was having a great time. I was having a wonderful time. I didn't want to leave. So later I found out that not only is he internationally renowned as a jazz pianist, but also a JD MBA out of Georgetown. He qualifies as a bad boy, Howard University undergrad and kind of a native is at Silver Spring. He claims the suburbs of D.C. So it really is an honor, and I'll kind of get to the script because I'll meander on. Marcus is a Billboard-ranked NAACP Image Award-nominated jazz keyboardist and pianist. He's released more than 15 Billboard-charted CDs, of which 3, Flow Chill, Flow Romance, and Flow Standards, all hit the top 10 Billboard at the same time. Let's see. He's performed with top artists such as Boney James, Kim Waters, Najee, Alec Bournian, Dave Koz, Diane Krall, Gerald Albright, Will Downing, Foreplay, Pieces of a Dream, but the list just goes on. I shouldn't forget Erykah Badu. He's a businessman, a CEO and president of MEG, which stands for Marimal Entertainment Group. CEO and president of Three Keys Music, Three Keys Publishing. He's CEO and founder of Flow Brands, for the love of brands. Flow Wines. He's invited as a speaker on many topics, such as copyright, publishing, intellectual property, institutions including Harvard, organizations like Microsoft, and industry conferences such as the World Copyright Summit. He also finds time to volunteer with the Boys and Girls Club, something near and dear to my heart, in the YMCA. And he's also become a family man. He's a dad, so ask him if he's getting any sleep. His daughter Chase was born September 12th of 2012. So fortunately for us, his passion runs real deep. And he's here to share with us not just to play a little music for us, but to also share his thoughts. He really does personify possibilities. He personifies life reimagined. And I think we're just very fortunate to have him here. So let's give him a real warm welcome. Marcus Johnson. Oh, man. Big honor.
Thank you. And out of all those musicians and artists that he mentioned, we have Doug over here on bass, who I enjoy more than anybody on bass tonight, from Washington, D.C., Doug Crowley. And we spoke at an elementary school a couple of weeks ago, and he has now received or been knighted as, no longer is he Biscuit, he has been knighted as Mr. Biscuit by a group of just kindergartners to third graders. So, very, very interesting thing there. And I told you, when we did the meet and greet at Walmart in Sterling, they came through and they were like, "Where's Mr. Biscuit?" At home, chilling. So we're gonna get right into some music. Fun night. It's gonna flow, and no pun intended, or maybe pun absolutely intended. But just have some fun, talk a little bit, play a little bit of music, and hey, I'm just happy to be here. This is a tune off of a new CD coming out in May. It's called The Rush. So I'm having a little fun. So we'll play one more before I start talking a little bit, because I can talk. This is your CFO, my buddy, Rob Hagens, mentioned that I had a CD that was nominated for an NAACP Image Award. It was a CD entitled Poetically Justified. And Poetically Justified was, I think, aptly titled because it was the CD where I was like, look, my entire life, everybody told me what was impossible. You can't play music. You think you're going to be successful at music. Why would you want to major in music? Wait, you majored in music and you think you're going to law school? Where are you going to go? Somebody said, Captain Crunch University? That's what somebody actually said. You're going to go University of Captain Crunch Law School? So you know when I got into Georgetown, the first place I went was, well, you don't know, but I went to Staples to get cards. I came up with the title called Student of the Laws. There is no such thing, but there was on my card. And I went back to that particular professor and was like, oh, by the way, how's this for Captain Crunch, player? I was told that I couldn't start a company. I was told that I was too young to put out my first CD when I was a second-year law student. I was told not to work my first year of law school. I was told not to work my first year of business school. I was told, you can't get JDs and MBAs at the same time. I was told, what else? Let's see. You will never get your company funded. That was my first company that I got funded. I was told, oh, well, since that didn't go the way you wanted it, you'll never get another company funded. Okay. So when I got to 2010 and I was looking at what was going on in my life, I've always used my keyboard as a keyboard pulpit to let people know that that thing that's here, that's you and God. And you and God are a majority. So when you see and feel that thing that you wake up with every morning, you know that you can do it. It's just up to you to take the first step, then the second step. And so thus, with the fact that that was my 13th CD or something like that, I figured that I could go ahead and, stick my chest out a little bit and just say, poetically justified, meaning poetic justice, at the fact that I have worked my behind off. But when you do that, following that thing that's in your stomach, the thing that comes out is poetic justice. It's the fruit of the seeds that you sowed, if you believe it, as it relates to the Bible. It is faith, in any kind of faith with works gets you what you need. And it always works out that way. So Poetically Justified, one of my favorite tunes off that is a song called Danny's Song, who was written for a friend of ours. She had a heart attack, actually. We used to come up every day when we played, and she's like, Marcus, that song goes like this. I was like, oh, that one. And we didn't have a name for it, so when we put this CD together, we just named it Danny's Song after our girl. Girl, G-U-R-L, Danny. Doug Crawley. Senor Biscuit. I guess you guys can take a break for a teeny bit. Give my hand a break, too. Watch this, y'all. Oh, you can't see it. Okay, so at the heart of everything, yes, I'm a Georgetown JD MBA, a Small Business Administration Young Entrepreneur of the Year, and I am a Toys R Us kid. Because I will never, ever grow up. And even if I did, I'll still be a Toys R Us kid. More toys, was it more games, more toys? Oh, boy. Yeah, I remember that one. So I'm just here to talk a little bit about, we talked about life reimagined, and we had a kind of opening ceremony, and the world reimagined, and work reimagined. And I spent a little time on the website over the last couple of days just seeing what I could do to add some level of relevancy to what they already have there. And there are these things called calling cards. And you have to sign in, put your name in. You know, they're going to make sure they get your analytical information because they're going to send you a couple of emails and things like that. I agree to the terms. None of us read it. That means that it's okay for me to send you the other email stuff that I'm going to send you next week. You know, make sure that April 15th we have everything together. But you know what? We sign it anyway. And then there's this whole list of like cards and emotions and things. And it kind of, it made me smile because like my PowerPoint presentation that I talk about is essentially kind of like, it's the same component. I speak from a perspective that's called DEPEL. And DEPEL is an acronym that means dream, plan, execute, listen, and learn. And it's 5 steps that if you take, I think that it adds a level of comfort and fun in your life. And still a lot of hard work that you have to do. And I think that we don't talk a lot about that. We have our everyday things that we do, but success and happiness, these are choices in life. A lot of people think like, if I just do this, it's gonna happen. Nah, it's really a choice. And a lot of the choice is how you react to the things that happen to you in your life. Because I can tell you, there were about 9 different times, maybe even more, that I messed up in my performance in these 2 songs. And I could have been like, but you learn sometimes as a magician, to keep on going, you know, and enjoy the fact that there's one thing that's perfect in life, and that's that it's not perfect. So I talk about the idea of dreaming, planning, and executing, and listening, and learning. And how many of you all have like a dream or have had a dream? And that one dream that's been, you know, for some of you all, 50 years, 60 years, 70 years, that you haven't followed, but you have the same dream every day when you wake up in the morning. 15 counts. 15 years counts? All right, I love it. So we all do it. And, you know, one of the things I always tell people is to dream the actual biggest, craziest, scariest dream. So some people are like, hey, Marcus, look, you're a musician. How did you get into, well, no, you're a lawyer. Well, no, you're something. You do one of these 2 things. If I'm in a legal crowd, they're like, well, how did you get into music? And if I'm in a music crowd, they're like, how'd you get into law and business? And for me, I don't understand how they don't understand how it's just not one and the same. You know, I majored in music as an undergraduate student and had some really horrible experiences. And on the back of a TWA 747, said to myself one day, you know how long ago that was, because haven't seen those red tails in a long time. That's a whole different red tail there, right? But, you know, I said to myself, I'll never be in a situation where I'm not in control of my destiny ever again. I want to be on the right side of the desk. I'm a guy that dreams absolutely all the time. If you see a guy in a Chevy Suburban talking to himself, riding down 495, I could be talking to Oprah. I could be talking to President Obama, you know, but the main thing is I have these conversations with myself. I could be talking to God. You're laughing at me because she does that, don't you? Like, hey, Oprah, you know, what do you think, right? See, Somebody that's aligned with me right here. And, the reason I do that is because I just think that you have to be prepared in any moment. And that's when, it's who we are. It's that thing I talked about earlier. You plus God and the soul that you have in here, the things that you have in your stomach, that is the thing that keeps you going. Paulo Coelho talks about the idea of your personal legend in The Alchemist, right? Next time, I'm going to tell you this, whether we're with AARP or by yourself, you have the right idea with a pen or your iPad, because you're going to get nuggets in these things that you come to. Don't leave here without writing things down. It's like church. You get the program, but you have a pen all the time. I'm not saying what I'm saying is the gospel or anything like that, but I learned things from Rob just by talking in a club, and I write them down. Where's the herb lady? She's here. Herb lady, right? Learned some things from her over there. I wrote it down on your card, to make sure that hopefully if I can get the right price, you'll let me play at your birthday party, right? Oh, don't be shy now. But these are things you want to make sure that you can document this stuff, because honestly, you walk out of here, your phone rings, we're gone. Somebody calls with the next emergency, you're gone. I'm ADHD, HHDDHDH, okay? So if I don't write everything to Evernote, if you don't know about it, you need to find out about it, right? But the good old notepad, best BlackBerry in the world, I posted this the other day on my Facebook page, was a pen and a pad. Because honestly, that's how I think, and also how I end up dreaming. Let's see. Right now, I think when we talk about life reimagined, I read a lot, and we're talking about the post-industrial age. I mean, we say even up to 2 years ago, people are talking about where are the jobs in the world right now. Honestly, manufacturing jobs, I don't know if they're ever coming back. Why? Because they're all automated. You go into Giant, used to be able to go get a job at a Giant, as a cashier. It's gone from 2 self-pays to 4 self-pays to 12 self-pays, and then all you need is somebody monitoring whether or not, you're going in and out of there. Now, I don't know their shrinkage, depending upon the part of town, I'm just keeping it real. But things like that. But still, the essence of the matter is true. We are in a post-industrial age. Things are changing. The world is changing. And that's why kind of also with the work reimagined and the life reimagined, it is the world reimagined. I think also it's the age of human awareness. We're all asking a lot of questions about why in the heck am I here? I just know that I don't get up every day to go to a job so that I can make money to go buy stuff, and buy stuff that I may or may not be able to afford, so that I can then go back to work somewhere I don't like, in some cases, maybe some of y'all, I don't know, to do the same thing again next week. And then next week, and then weeks turn into years, years turn into decades, and then you wake up, and I tell you, I look back and I'm like, okay, if all goes well, I still have it to do again at my age of 40, right? But I always want to continue to do my thing. I also think that we're between the boomers, the parents of the boomers, the Xers, the Generation Yers, it's a different mentality that we're thinking. And I'm glad you all are here today to talk about entrepreneurship and just life in general, because we used to be taught to go get a job. You work for 30 years, you have a pension. Whether it is the economic state of the country and Social Security, whether it's the economic state of the country and we're dealing with your pension that was pilfered and no longer exists, your 401k that goes from here to here to here to here, which creates stress, knocks some of us out with heart attacks, strokes, things of that nature. The one thing I found that keeps me going is some level of entrepreneurship. Now, from the time I was 6, I knew I was going to be an entrepreneur when I used to go to People's Drug. Anybody? And people used to get they pencil fight. I was like, wait a minute. So they're breaking pencils every day. I went in, I was like, Mom, these pencils are like 50 cents for a pack. I can get 12, right? And I go in and I sell them each for like a quarter. The next day, Mom gets a call, your son is selling, he doesn't have a permit to sell pencils in school. You know, why are you hating on me? Because I figured out a market. I figured out what the people wanted. And I had, you remember elementary school, we had the cookies, you had the punch, and only the people that could afford it could do it. So me and my little, I didn't have a girlfriend in the first grade, but I had somebody I liked, Would you like a cookie kind of thing? That's when I knew I was an entrepreneur. I grew up in an entrepreneurial family. Different motivations, definitely, we all have them. But, and it's something that allows me to be me. Now, do I have somebody that I'm responsible to? I definitely do. I have my consumers. I have the people who buy my products. I have the people who may or may not like my music. Hopefully it's those that actually like my music. So when I'm thinking about the next song, it's not all about Marcus Johnson. I can be an artist in my crib, but when I start putting music out on in the marketplace, it's kind of a mixture of what I like to do, thank God I love to play, and what you all like. So entrepreneurialism, I think, frees you up a lot, yet it still has some levels of accountability. You know what I mean? That I don't want to fool you all into thinking, go out and quit your jobs tomorrow, it's all going to be good. This is hard work. I have to worry about payroll. I had somebody bounce a multiple $1,000 check on me last week. Then you start talking about wine and competition and competitor analysis and, industry analysis and distribution and supply chain management and things like that. But it's mine. Something about that keeps me getting up every day, reading the next book, but it's mine and I'm doing what I like to do. So, job versus entrepreneurial oriented lifestyles. And, again, our mission and what we're looking at today is like really the why are we here? And I think we all ask that question. And if anybody has any questions, whether it's related to what I'm saying or something that pops in your head, please feel free to ask me. Okay, definitely. And if you raise your hand, they said they'll pass the mic around so that they can hear you. This is just simple dream stuff here. We all have them. One of my favorite books is The Alchemist. I mention it all the time, whether I'm teaching. When I taught at Georgetown, I taught at Bowie State, I made my students read The Alchemist and Think and Grow Rich. One, Think and Grow Rich is very pragmatist. It has a pragmatic way for you to achieve success. And then The Alchemist is one of those books that's just about the whole idea of your personal legend and who you are. And we all had that. As a young kid, we all had it. As an adolescent, as a growing adult, we all had that as it related to, when we were fired from our first job, being, in a relationship that didn't work, these kind of things, we all had dreams. But the most important part of The Alchemist isn't really the book, if you ask me. It's the foreword of the book. Because the foreword of the book lists the 4 reasons why Paulo Coelho thinks that people don't achieve their personal legend. The first of which is we're taught that we cannot dream and achieve our dreams. We're told we can't do it. Our parents, why do you want to do that? Our friends, why do you want to do that? Our significant others, why do you want to do that? You can't do that. A lot of it is they're looking out for you, kind of. But instead of being there for you when you fall, because you will, and telling you to go and be the best that you can be, they tell you, Then the second reason is because we kind of kill the things that we love. We all understand that. The third reason is because we fear failure. And this is something that for me in success is very important. And he asked the question, he says, people come up to me, Paulo, is is failure necessary? And he's like, whether it's necessary or not, it is inevitable. The key to success is falling 7 times and getting up 8. So for me, I have failed 9,999. I'm infinite, so I'm like infinite plus, that's what I'm getting up on right now. That's how many times I failed. But as you do it and then you get up, you learn things. You learn how to get up. You learn, I know that's failure, I'm not going that way. It is your choice to go that way, and many people go down that way again and again and again. The beauty of God, universe, whatever is, you keep going down that way, you're going to learn the same lesson until you decide, okay, I'm done. I'm going to go this way. Success, happiness, your dream is your dream. It is a choice, right? That's why I love it. And the fourth reason why people don't achieve their personal legend is because right at the end, right when you're right there, it's right here. And you say, but what about my homies? Why me? Why should I be the one that makes it out of the hood? Why should I be the one out of my family to be the first to do this? Why am I the one that has the guts and the, whatever to get to that next level? And then we give it up. And then it's quote unquote sort of admirable, but then you don't have anything. And, NBA players, our sports players that give their money away at $50,000 per strip club, we'll call it. And you can laugh at me if you want to. It really is something that they do. My friends who are attorneys and agents, they're like, when we talk about investments, they're like, oh, $100,000, man, that's strip club money. That's what they talk about. Because these kids, in order to maintain a certain level of community, they have it right here. And, I have a friend of mine who's in the audience tonight who owns about 25, Kentucky Fried Chicken and Taco Bells and the rights to 5 Guys in the Atlanta airport. His name was Michael Melton, right? And instead of taking $50,000 or $100,000 and going to Michael Melton and saying, let's go buy some more franchises, and maybe we do Sweet Greens if you're into healthy living and things of that nature, or Elevation Burger or things like that. And spending it that way, we give it away all the time. So, we have a question. Yes.
Gentlemen. Yeah. Hey, Marcus.
What's up?
Longtime fan and aspiring entrepreneur. And I was wondering, from a perspective of getting started, how do you, what's the first steps that you take? Because I have faced those sort of demons in my mind, like, well, you can't do it, and this, that, and the other. And also, I want to know if the wine that was in the room, is that your wine?
Yes, that's my wine.
Oh, that's, yeah.
Okay, don't give the mic back yet. Don't give the mic back yet. Okay, so number one, he said something that Paolo didn't even really talk about. He said, I have those demons in my head. It's not somebody else that is in his head. And I have the voice. It's right here. I'm going to go this way. Mm-hmm. Why do you want to do that, dummy? Right. When you did that, you failed last time. Right. Don't punk out. You can't do that. Everybody's looking at you. If you fail, don't give it all away, right?
Right.
You don't ignore it. Let's say it like this. You don't address it. You don't say, hey, look. You kind of ignore it. The next step that we'll talk about in a sec, and then go right into it right now, is planning. I talked to you all about putting down on a piece of paper what we're talking about today. Your next idea is just to actually sit down and take some time to figure out who you are and yourself and what that dream is. Now, it's great that I did spend some time, again, and I'll mention this a lot, on the AARP Life Reimagined site, right? And the fact that you can look at these cards and it goes through all these different things and it helps you. It forces you to say, like, I am this person, I am this person, I am this person. And then it forces you to rank, I want to be this, and not wanna, I'm going to do this. That's what I'd say. The only thing I'd say on top of that is no matter if I give you a paradigm with which to really think about your dream and how to get towards it, or whether AARP does, there's a little component of that or a lot of component of that. That's you. So then you take this and you make it better, right? Mm-hmm. And it's what you dream. So what is your dream?
Well, I dream to have a cafe. Mm-hmm. My cafe, I'm a amateur musician, play saxophone. I call it this, in my mind's eye, it's the saxophone suite. And in my cafe, I have a bakery where we serve up musical shaped pastries. We've got coffee.
You got some volunteers and some patrons already, by the way. Hey, I see it. Keep going.
We got coffee,
I'm loving it.
We got healthy food, and we have information.
Mm-hmm.
You know, information that's pertinent to the community and pertinent to just everything that's good. Mm-hmm. That's during the day. At night, I got people like you, people like people in the community. During the week, I got people in the community. Maybe on the weekends, I got national acts like you that come in, mm-hmm. do their thing. I charge a fee on the weekend. During the week, I just let them in. Mm-hmm. That's kind of that's kind of.
What's the name of the cafe?
The Saxophone Suite.
The Saxophone Suite. Do you have you looked at? I know based on your dream, I know you've already looked at some locations.
Yes, I have.
Okay. Okay. So there are a couple. There's a lot that you can do, right? This is what is called a dream statement or your vision statement. There are two things I would love for you to do. You just gave me the perfect vision board, okay, based on what you said. Now what I would tell you to do is get into PowerPoint and basically does everybody know what I mean when I say PowerPoint? The Microsoft Suite, just making sure. Take some pictures from different places, put them together. That'll help you on the one side. The other thing is the whole vision and desire statement that you have. And this keeps you together. Now, basically, what will I do? Okay, meaningful and achievable goals. When will I have it completed? That's accountability. That's one of the things we don't want to do. Well, I'm going to get to it in, right? So my next thing is, when is your club going to be open? Wait. Hey, where's Dwayne? Dwayne, can you get my iPad out of my bag for me real quick? Okay, that wasn't the answer to my question, right? So I'm looking for a date.
September 23rd.
Of?
2013.
Okay. Hey, hold it. It is achievable, right? So now the things that you have to do, what skills and resources will I use to achieve my goals? What are your resources that you have already?
The resources that I have already are, I'm actually a IT major out of college, so I know IT. I actually work here. Mm-hmm. Not only am I an AARP member, but I work here as well. So I know IT, I know musicians. Mm-hmm. I have a spot in mind that got foreclosed, but it's available now. Mm-hmm. And it's already it has the infrastructure in place. Mm-hmm. And I have a business plan.
Oh. Okay, so what's on your business plan?
My business plan just says, talks about what it would take to run the business, how much capital up front until we become profitable is required. It talks about the number of employees that are required to run the business in terms of restaurant type of staffing. Talks about trying to reach out to national acts, get them to come in like they're in town.
How much money do you need?
I estimate that for 6 months I would need 6 months to become profitable, and that for 6 months I would need $100,000.
Mm-hmm. So you need, okay, go ahead, I'm listening.
And then, no, it's all, the place that I have in mind is already set. It's already, it's a spot that was, it was a restaurant slash nightclub.
Okay.
But my intent is to not only have it profitable for entertainment at night, but also during the day for lunch, breakfast, and maybe some dinner.
Okay, that's good. I'm trying to find, I need you, Dwayne, here. There's a special part of this book that I promise you that when I find it, of Think and Grow Rich, that definitely address, wait, hold up. Let me see if I got it right here. A character analyst compiled a list of the most commonly used alibis. You said you had no money. This is what made me get this book and what made me give it to my students. As you read this list, examine yourself carefully and determine how many of these alibis, if any, are your own property. This is a book written in 1938. Remember, too, the philosophy presented in this book makes every one of these alibis obsolete. Starting with number one. If I didn't have a wife and family, if I had enough pull, if I had money, if I had a good education, if I could get a job, if I could get good health, if I only had time, if times were better, if other people understood me, if conditions around me were only a little bit different, if I could live my life over again, if I did not fear what they would say, if I had been given a chance, if I now had a chance, if I dared assert myself, if my talents were known, if I could just get a break. And it goes on down this list of 57 alibis. And basically saying that if I had the courage to see myself as I really am, I would find out what is wrong with me and correct it. Then I might have a chance to profit by my mistakes and learn something from the experience of others. For I know that there is nothing wrong with me, or I would now be where I would have been if I had spent more time analyzing my weakness and less time building alibis to cover them. Right? You have the plan, dude. You know what I mean? So now it's doing things like going to the Small Business Administration. You have Nicole, is she still here? She's gone? Okay. Talking to them. And really, I'll look at it as well. Give a chance. Also, I know Mike is over there. Let him look at it, see what he can do. I'm volunteering you, Mike. And another great guy, head of the Coalition of 100 Black Men, but definitely. That's something that you should do. You have the desire statement ready. The other key to your desire statement is the bottom right there. I hope you took a picture of that or something. Repeat it before you go to bed and when you wake up in the morning. That's like, man, yes, preparing yourself for success right there. When the last thing I say, before I go to bed, number one is thank you, dear Lord, for another day. And the first thing I say when I wake up is thank you, Lord, for another day. But, the whole thing in that is thank you for where I am, and I appreciate everything. Not just the good stuff. My back hurts, thank you for nerves that I can feel. Because, see, my mother had a stroke. My mom can't feel in her back. You know what I mean? So for me to be able to do that, it's a good thing. And these are little tricks of the trade that help you actually become successful. These are the keys that keep you going through the cloudy days that are definitely turbulent. You have another question over here? No? Okay.
I just wanted to know where the comments came from, if I had.
Oh, it's in chapter, what is this?
Thank you.
It is a, hold on, let me see. I wish I had a chapter on it because it's an ebook, but it's Think and Grow Rich. Yeah, and that is a book that I would recommend, that you get. And I would get the 1938 version, the original version of the book, so that you can see what the actual author, not new people adding things to it, get what he got. See what he saw, and talking about Thomas Edison and how Thomas Edison almost gave up. You know, seeing people who didn't have, you know, eyes and ears, and how they didn't give up and they were able to make it. So then you start looking at it, and when comparing this, it gives you kind of a basis to say, like, again, my mom, I saw my mom, I've seen her fall down steps, I've seen her fall through walls, I've seen her bleed, I've seen her break her nose, I've seen her break both of her arms, and I've seen her have an unsuccessful retina transplant where her eye basically glazed over. I've seen her have a successful retina transplant after that. You know who I talk to every day who was in great spirits this morning? My mom. So wait a minute. I'm chilling. I did P90X this morning. You know, I'm flying all over the country, all over the world. I'm coming here speaking to you all. I have the opportunity and the blessing to try and share something with you all. And you know what? What do I have to complain about? I don't have anything to complain about. And there are people in worse shape than my mom that get up every day and do something. You all have the beauty that you can do anything that you want to do. Anything that you want to do. It may take a little time, always does. You know, but you can make sure that you get it. You can get it done. Yes.
I need your help.
Mm-hmm.
I'm now at the point where they say I'm ready to step on the stage of a 30-year project that I have worked on and dreamed about and built up and redone and the whole bit. So I have now done all the logistics. I've copyrighted. It's a television show that I wanted to proceed produce. And I have it copyrighted. I had someone who helped me do a great edit on a promo. It's ready to roll. I've gone through all the elements in my little Bible that I take with me everywhere I go. It's this thick and that big. I write notes constant. Anything that comes to my mind, it's in that book. And I've set up 20 pages of commercials or advertisers I could go to. My thing is not knowing the legal knowledge. And this is what I'm looking for, because this is the last step as far as I'm concerned, is finding me an entertainment lawyer. And I'm not really good at knowing who knows what they're doing or don't know. And that's a small fear that I have, but I'm determined to do it. So this is where, since you said you were legal, and that's what got me, you know, a star in my face, could you tell me someone that you might know who is a good entertainment
So
lawyer,
there's a guy, he would
person?
have been here tonight. His grandmother passed, and he had to drive down to Alabama to be with his family. But I spoke at Howard University about 2.5 years ago, and this guy came up to me and was like, "Hey man, can I work with you?" Of course, you know, and we worked together for a couple of years. He just graduated Howard Law last May, passed the bar, New York bar, first time around. Last July, we just found out he was just sworn in last month.
Okay.
And I'm extremely proud of him. However, he works with another well-established entertainment attorney, and we kind of brainstorm ideas together. So his name is Marcus Moore, and I will make sure that I give you his information. And it's not just from, because you don't just need the entertainment law side, you need an agent.
Yes.
You need somebody who can actually take some of your ideas and get them to the right people and the right places and the right sponsors. And whether it's, you know, working through a cable access / nonprofit, public television, you know, perspective, and then doing something else, whether it's somebody where, you know, it may align perfectly with, you know, AARP and the brand management guy here, and Work Reimagined and Life Reimagined, where you can pull that together. And they may be a sponsor of yours, because, I mean, I can't think of anybody else better for them to sponsor than somebody who is exactly what they advocate or who they advocate for. You know what I mean?
Well, a few years ago, my sister happened to work for the PR firm for former President, oh Lord, I'm losing it, Ronald Reagan. And they did a survey for me on my project. And when they finished, they said it had which is really surprising to me, a 92 percentile of making it.
Mm-hmm.
So that really kept me going more than anything else.
Okay.
And all I can say is I'm ready to rock and roll.
Hey, well, you know what? And what's really funny, if I go to the end of my my presentation, and I don't have enough time to go through the whole thing, it says, okay, let's rock it.
Yeah.
And that's the idea. You have to do it. And you're the one that knows it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so go for it. I tell you that every day. You have a question over here?
Yeah, I just wondered, well, two questions. Your slides, are they on your website or anything? Because I really think they're pretty good.
You think my slides are pretty good?
Very good, yeah.
Hire a brother. Hire a brother. And I will come out. Honestly, to tell you the truth, The Pell is a book I'm working on right now.
Okay.
And I'm hoping to have it done by the end of the year. I would gladly give you some of the slides. You give me an email, and
Okay.
I'll definitely shoot you the PowerPoint. I mean, the PowerPoint presentation is 30 pages, 40-something pages long, but it goes through kind of, you know, the steps. And, you know, we're just in dream and vision here. But like this is really all you need. This slide here is very important. You go into the actual details of everything, that's great. But like, your details are different than the other 200 people, 150, 200 people that, you know, are in here right now. And this is the stuff that makes you think. And again, though, the thing I will say is when I spent time, and I'm not an AARP, you know, advocate, I believe in this thing that I saw. When you look at the cards and the calling cards, and you can sign up without being a member, and you just look at it, you say like, wow, this is pretty neat how they have this set up. And then you take that and like create your own thing.
Well, the other question I had, I'm an attorney too, but I practice health law, but I'm really interested in fine art, particularly painting. And I've always been interested in representing painters, artists. So how do you, I guess, it's not necessarily that I'm afraid, but as being a government lawyer, you're not the, you know, eat what you kill, recruiting clients and all that. So how do you
My screen is blank, right? If I was only an entertainment attorney.
Well, I don't know. I mean, but to make that.
If only I wasn't scared to go to an art gallery and speak to people.
Well, I have spoken with some people, and I've looked at Washington Lawyers for the Arts, some of their training and so forth. But how do you, the skill of like recruiting clients, that's where I'm like, I don't.
I mean, honestly, okay, so the skill of recruiting a client, I can make it easy. Honestly, to tell you the truth, and I had a seminar the other day, and yesterday, and I ended with saying it the same way. It's like it's really just do it. There are rules, but there really aren't rules. If you go to an art show, if you go to a high school, if you go to a college, we have Bowie State, Georgetown, Maryland, Howard, Morgan State, Coppin State, Trinity, Montgomery College, PG Community College, right? You have all these colleges that have fine arts departments. Maybe your first step is like calling up some of them and like, hey, look, do you have an artist that's really going to blow up? Because see, the thing is, being a lawyer, the only thing that separates lawyers from everybody else in the world is the way we were trained to think analytically, right? Now, we do have a body, the bar, that we have to work within. However, you working with a desire to zealously represent a client who's in fine arts, that doesn't go against any of the codes, right? Right. So it's any way that you can. I'd be at high schools, I'd find an art show, and now we have Google. When I was in school, we didn't really have Google, you know what I mean? And I want to be a fine arts legal attorney, okay? And then what did it tell you though?
Well, just different trainings and.
How about trainings? How about doings? Yeah. I want you to, so my perspective, then it's getting your card that says, what's your name? Michelle what? Michelle Johnson Webb, ESQ, attorney at law. Hit me up. Honestly, that's it. Here's what I do. I would like to represent you. I like fine arts. Here's how I think. And then like me, my boys will tell you, I read ink every day, right? I get my Fast Company updates every day. I read the Wall Street Journal every day. When I go on a trip, I go get the Harvard Business Review. I get Entrepreneurship magazine, because I'm always, trying to make sure, not trying, I am being a student of my industry, whatever that is. And, I was reading Richard Branson earlier today and talking about his stuff, and Screw Business as Usual is his newest book, right? And it's the whole idea of you just taking whatever you have and knowing that it's transferable. You have a skill in the way that you think and can analyze contracts that allows you to take care of and represent others. That's it.
I just didn't know, because in my practice now, clients just come to me.
Yes.
And going out to find them is something very different.
You know what? I'll tell you like this. All right, it's and people laugh at me in my class. My students do all the time. But like business is really like dating. Literally, I mean, you got to go to the club. You got to go out, and you got to go searching for a date. Because really, when you're asking a customer to pay for your services, right? You're really asking them to create a relationship. You're asking them to dance. You have to get out and start asking people to dance. And eventually, as you start asking people to dance and people see how you dance, especially like if you go to a salsa club, you can be the most non-attractive person, sort of, you know what I'm saying, in a legal, reasonable person sense, right? And then you know how to dance salsa and twirl people around and throw them out that way and throw them back. Trust me, you're going to get some partners that are asking you, will you dance with me? It's the same. I make you laugh, but I swear to you it's the same in business. I swear to you it's the same in business. So as you go out there, you get your first client and you get your first deal, that client's going to be like, oh my goodness gracious, Misha, you need to call Misha Johnson Webb because she got me this deal. And then you have networks, Marcus. Hey, look, do you know anybody in art? Yeah, somebody I went to business school owns one of the top galleries in San Francisco. Kind of an art place. You know what I mean? All right, call Wendy Norris. Marcus told me to call you. Hey, look, I want to know if I can come out there and sit with you. And I do stuff like, hey, you got a job, right? You take a vacation, right? So what am I willing to give up to achieve my goals? This year may be the $500 vacation ticket to go and spend $500 going to San Francisco so I can meet with Wendy Norris, because I am now a health attorney and an entertainment attorney. I am. Not going to be trying to be, I am. I'm just getting better at my craft, right? That's it. It's pretty simple. Pretty simple, yes. I only have 5 minutes left. Some more flow? I'll play some more. Well, look, all right, so I love this component of it, and I'm doing more and more of it. And it's because I believe that this is my mission, is to use this to get everybody in here so that we can talk about things that are absolutely relevant, not just music, but like following your dream, following your passion. And I'll tell you, I got an email today. I spoke at UB Blake High School 10 years ago. And I got an email yesterday, actually, that from a young lady who was like, you won't remember this, but I was 15 years old when you spoke to me at our high school. And after you spoke to us, your idea of being the controller or the master of your own ship motivated me to go to college. I finished college, and I ran into you when I was in your class at Bowie State University on business development. And out of that, I got even more motivation to go on and to go to law school. And right now, I'm at the University of Baltimore School of Law, and it would make me no happier than to work for you this summer. To me, I can't take my keyboard skills with me. I can't take money with me. But I know that as I leave a legacy for my daughter, I know that all I ask and all I will ask this young lady to do is to make sure that when Chase gets her age, that she leads by example and does the same thing. Because really, in the We the People of the United States of America in order to create a more perfect union, blah, blah, blah. It really is about community. It really is about advocacy. It really is about being a civil participant every single day. Not every 4 years, not every 2 years, every single day. So I'm going to continue to do this. I ask that you all do the same. I thank AARP for having me here to talk and to play and to be engaged. I hope we do more stuff together. I'm available. I will come talk. I will come play. I will just lead by example. I promise you that. So I thank you very much. Remember, dream it, plan it, execute it, listen and learn. We're going to play one more before we get out of here, Doug. So I have a story with everything. This tune that we're going to play is on the CD, The Phoenix. And if you want to get any of the music, just go to buymarcusjohnson.com. And I was in Costa Rica, and I heard it was a third world place. And was riding around on my way to the beach, and I saw a family sitting on a corner. And you had the mom and the dad with what they had harvested for the day and what they had slaughtered for the day. And you saw two little kids that were running around. They were chasing the chickens, yard birds, everything else like that, butterball naked. And what I noticed about them is that they all had smiles on their faces. I get on a plane, and I come back to D.C. I'm running to a concert, and I'm like, I'm just going to try something. We're in what I heard was a first world country in Dallas, Fort Worth Airport. And I just started walking up to people like, hey, how you doing? People looking at me like, wait a minute, what's wrong here? You know, good day, what's so good about it? And what I learned is that we have a lot to learn in the first world from third world folk, and how to enjoy the little stuff, like the fact that our hearts just beat, our lungs just breathe, the fact that we can see, hear, taste, touch, smell, all that good stuff, the little things in life. And that's kind of my story of what I learned on the road to Los Sueños.